Hi, welcome back to my gardening show. And we got the grain bin over there is going. They're drying out the corn. So yeah, got Uncle Scott with us today. He's gonna help me. We got the garden cleared out pretty well. My dad's been doing a lot of work. You can see all the well, you can't see real well. But everything's been mowed down or torn down. All the broccoli plants, kale, everything that's was kind of on the way out is all piled up here. We got a little burn ring where we've been burning a few things. But we had the county came out. The county came out and dumped about close to 2.5 tons of leaves into the garden here. We took the fence down and everything because we're going to cover everything really good, the walking paths and stuff. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back on where we want our rows for next year. I'm going to go real quick with a tiller, maybe about 1 inch down, not real deep, but enough to get the ground scratched up. And I bought 15 pounds of cover crop seed, winter rye and red clover that they had, and got that mixed together, and we're gonna plant that into the grow areas. And I think there's enough time left. It'll germinate and grow, and should be good to go. We'll have a cover then on the garden, and then in the spring, you know, we'll kill back where we want to plant and stuff like that. And again, it's part of the long-range goal of building the soil. I used a Mittleider gardening method this last year, and it worked really well. But it's not a long-term solution as far as really as far as building soil. I want to grow food, but I also want to build soil so that in the long run it can be more self-sustaining. You know, I'm not dependent on supplements as much. So that's really the goal. You know, since I'm gonna have access to this spot for the foreseeable future, I want to start doing that now. Start building the soil now. And then as far as the tilling, it's not going to be as invasive like it was this year. You know, to break ground and all that. So that's kind of the game plan. Again, we got a lot of work to do. This pile of leaves is about 8 foot tall, and they made a little fort out of it. What the beauty of getting it from the county is that it went through their shredder, so a lot of it's already ground up for us. But we're going to get it spread out. We also, my dad, he dumped out all his flower pots. Out here, stuff that's been kind of hit with the frost. So we're going to try to break up the big clods here. Get this all mixed in. We'll get a couple more heavy frosts, and it's going to kill off the rest of the stuff that didn't get, you know, pulled out or cut down. I just want to say, Mark over at I Am Organic Gardening has been a big influence on me here lately. I've been really loving his videos, you know, on building the soil, the things he's doing to grow food organically. So part of what I'm doing is inspired in part because of his videos. So Mark, if you're watching, appreciate what you've been putting out there. But again, a lot of work to do, get things prepped. Kind of go from there. Along that line, what we did as far as the plants, you know, some of the plants we pulled up, but a lot of them we did try to just, instead of pulling them up, I took, they were big hedge trimmers, or snippers basically, and came in and snipped the tomato plants right at the root. You know, leaving the nubs there. The bean plants, we pulled a lot to get the pods, but we mowed down a lot as well. So, you ready to get started? Alright, well, we're going to get started. I guess that's it for now. Until next time, happy gardening. Bye. Well, hey, we've been out here a couple hours now. I managed to get most of the garden covered pretty well in leaves. This area is still just a little sketchy, but a lot of it's because there was a lot of plant residue and the stuff from the flower pots that were up on the deck. So it's a little bit more difficult to get the leaves over there. We got quite a thick bed, and we still have some spreading out to do here, but I think we're kind of running out of time tonight. So we're going to finish spreading this out as evenly as we can, and then go at it another day. But ultimately the plan, and we were kind of just playing around with the tiller to see. I set it at a depth of about 2 inches, and that was enough to actually touch ground and scuff up. You know, like you can tell we didn't go too deep, but it's enough to scuff it up to where there's enough dirt there for the cover crop to germinate, you know, to be covered and everything. These little aggregates, because we left the roots, most of them in place from the beans there. The challenge is going to be identifying our rows and getting the leaf mulch spread evenly in the paths, because I mean, there's just quite a bit of leaf mulch we still have to get spread out. The bad thing, or the challenge, is going to be beating the weather, you know, before all the nastiness or rain, stuff like that comes. It's going to make it much more difficult to spread this out, because once we get a good heavy rain, a lot of this stuff's going to be matted down pretty good. It's going to take a little while for it to dry out, because the mornings are going to be cooler. There's going to be a lot more dew, frost, stuff like that. So time is kind of the essence if we want to get a cover crop planted in here. It's one of these times, just on the scale of garden that we got, it'd be really nice to have like a small tractor with some implements to play around. It would just make it a lot easier to deal with a plot this size. Not that I'm complaining at all. I mean, I'm really excited to be able to do something on this scale. So anyway, we'll also have to mend the fence and put it back up, you know, once we have everything situated in the garden. The trellises, you know, we got everything there. What I'm inclined to do is cut these zip ties and take the structure down, but leave the T-post in place, and then next year all I got to do is locate my T-posts, find my pegs, slide the posts over the pegs, and reconnect them, just so that these aren't out in the weather. I mean, I could keep them out in the weather, but it's the linkages there that I'm worried about. They're not the quality that this conduit is, and they're not going to weather really well going through winter. So I want to try to extend the life of this thing if I can. So anyway, I guess that's it for now. Like I said, we're going to try to finish spreading up what we can while we got some daylight, and then try to get out here you know, another afternoon or something. Maybe this weekend, if the weather permitting. I'll try to get out here and get some work done. So I guess that's it for now. Until next time, happy gardening. Bye.